I want to share something that many people experience when learning English. It's about understanding English well, but having trouble speaking it. This is a very common problem, and I know exactly how it feels because I've been there myself. I could read books in English, watch movies, and understand people talking in English. But when it was time to speak, I felt nervous. It was hard to find the right words, and I was afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you feel the same way. Let me tell you my story. Chapter 1. My English Learning Journey. When I first started learning English, I was good at reading and listening. I could understand what people were saying in movies or when I read something, but when it came to speaking, it felt like my mind went blank. I would get nervous and start thinking, what if I make a mistake? Or what if people laugh at me? At first, I was very frustrated. It seemed like no matter how much I studied, I still couldn't speak English well. Then, I decided to try something different. I started practicing speaking English by myself at home. I would talk about my day, describe things in my room, or just repeat phrases I had learned. It was strange at first, talking to myself, but it helped me get used to speaking English out loud. Slowly, I became more comfortable with my own voice in English. I realized that the more I practiced speaking, the easier it became to find the words I needed. Chapter 2. A Friend's Story, Maria. Let me tell you about my friend Maria. Maria moved to a new country where everyone spoke English. She had studied English for many years in school, so she could read and write very well. But when it came to speaking, Maria felt very shy. She was afraid of making mistakes, and that made her feel scared to speak. Maria could understand everything people said to her, but she couldn't respond quickly or easily. This made her feel embarrassed, and sometimes she didn't want to try. But Maria didn't give up. She knew she needed to improve her speaking skills if she wanted to make friends and enjoy her new life. Maria started practicing English by talking to herself, just like I did. She would stand in front of a mirror and talk about her day or describe how she felt. This helped her get used to speaking without feeling nervous. One day, Maria joined an English conversation club. This club met once a week, and everyone there wanted to practice speaking English. At first, Maria was very quiet. She didn't want to make mistakes, but the people in the club were kind and understanding. They were also learning, so they knew how she felt. After a few meetings, Maria started to speak more and more. She made some mistakes, but nobody laughed at her. Instead, they helped her and encouraged her to keep trying. Chapter 3. Building Confidence Through Practice. Maria also made friends with some of her English-speaking neighbors. She told them about her problem with speaking English, and they were happy to help her practice. They would invite her to their house for tea, and they would chat in English. These friendly conversations really helped Maria a lot. She learned new words and how to use different expressions. Most importantly, Maria started to feel more confident. Another thing that helped Maria was listening to English music and singing along. Maria loved music, so this was a fun way for her to practice. Singing helped her with her pronunciation and also taught her how to match words with the right rhythm. She also enjoyed watching English movies with subtitles. This helped her understand how words were used in real-life conversations, and she would try to repeat lines from the movies. Maria's journey wasn't always easy. There were times when she felt like she wasn't making progress, but she kept practicing every day. She realized that it was okay to make mistakes, because mistakes are a part of learning. Every time Maria made a mistake, she learned something new. Over time, she became more confident and fluent in English. Chapter 4. Another story, John's Experience. Now, Let me tell you about John. John moved to an English-speaking country for work. He was very good at his job, but like Maria, he struggled with speaking English. This made it hard for him to talk with his colleagues. He could understand everything in meetings, but when it was his turn to speak, he would feel very nervous and sometimes couldn't think of the right words. John didn't want his colleagues to think he wasn't smart just because he wasn't good at speaking English, so he decided to take action. John found a language partner, a native English speaker who wanted to learn his language. They met twice a week, and they would practice speaking both languages. This helped John improve his vocabulary and pronunciation, and he also felt good because he was helping someone else. John also took an online English-speaking course. The course had a lot of speaking exercises that allowed him to practice talking about everyday things like work, hobbies, and daily life. The teachers would give him feedback, telling him where he needed to improve and giving him tips on how to speak more fluently. This feedback was very helpful for John. Every day, John would find time to practice speaking English. He would talk to himself in the mirror, record his voice, and listen to it. He also started talking with his colleagues during lunch breaks. At first, he was nervous, but his colleagues were supportive and appreciated his efforts to speak English. Over time, John's speaking skills improved a lot. He became more confident during meetings and was able to share his ideas clearly. His boss noticed his improvement and praised him for his hard work. Chapter 5. Lessons from these stories. From Maria's and John's stories, we can learn a few important things. First, it's completely normal to feel nervous when speaking a new language, especially when we are still learning. But the only way to overcome this fear is by practicing regularly. Speaking to yourself, joining conversation groups, and making friends with native speakers are all good ways to practice and improve. Second, we need to be patient with ourselves. Learning a new language takes time, and it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are actually good because they help us learn. The important thing is to keep trying and not give up. Third, having people around us who support and encourage us is very helpful. Whether it's friends, neighbors, or colleagues, having people who understand and help us makes learning much easier. Lastly, finding ways to make learning fun is also important. Listening to music, watching movies, singing, or like and subscribing to this channel can make the process enjoyable. When we enjoy what we are doing, we are more likely to keep practicing. Chapter 6. Maria's Progress. After several months of practice, Maria's English-speaking skills improved a lot. She became more confident and started participating more in her English conversation club. One day, she even gave a short speech in front of the group, telling them about her journey. Everyone clapped and cheered for her. This was a big moment for Maria, and she felt very proud of herself. At work, Maria's job required her to talk with customers in English. Before, she would feel very nervous and try to keep the conversations short. But now, she enjoyed talking to customers, asking them about their day and helping them with their questions. Her boss noticed her improvement and praised her for her hard work. This made Maria even more motivated to keep practicing and improving her English. Chapter 7. John's Continued Improvement. John also kept making progress. His online English course required him to give a presentation as the final project. John chose a topic that he loved and worked hard on his presentation. He practiced speaking many times, recording himself and making small improvements. When the day of the presentation came, John was nervous, but he was ready. He spoke confidently and clearly, and his teachers and classmates were impressed. John's improved speaking skills also helped him at work. He could participate more in meetings, share his ideas, and contribute to discussions. His boss gave him more responsibilities, and John felt proud of himself. He realized that all his hard work was paying off. Chapter 8. What you can do. If you are struggling to speak English, don't worry, you are not alone. Many people have the same problem, but the good news is that you can improve. Just like Maria and John, you can take small steps every day to practice speaking English. Talk to yourself, join conversation groups, or make friends with people who speak English. Practice speaking every day, even if it's just a little bit. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Find activities you enjoy, like listening to English music, watching movies, or singing along to songs. The more fun you have while learning, the faster you will improve. And here's the best part. You're already on the right path by being here. On this channel, I'll continue to provide you with the tools and resources you need to improve your English for completely free. So, subscribe, stay with me, and let's keep learning together. Remember, learning a language is a journey. It takes time and effort, but if you keep practicing, you will get better. Believe in yourself, stay motivated, and don't give up. You can do it.